Hey guys, Dan and Moxy here. Just a quick word to say we're keeping all of these old UTS podcast episodes available to you, still free of charge, on all of our platforms. But be aware, now that we're independent, we are no longer the official podcast of Cheltenham Saracens Rugby Club.
Also, all of our social media platforms will remain the same, but our SoundCloud page has a brand new address. You can find that at soundcloud.com/the UTS podcast.
Hey guys, this show is brought to you in part by Wychwood FM. Wychwood FM is organised entirely by the students at the University of Gloucestershire, myself included, and it's the official radio station of the Wychwood Festival, which starts today. Wychwood FM will feature all the latest music, news and interviews direct from the festival, so if you can't make it, you don't need to panic. If you're local to Cheltenham, you can listen in on 87.7 FM, but before you go and do that, let's get on with our show.
You are listening to UTS, the official podcast of Cheltenham Saracens RFC.
Hey guys, come on in, sit yourselves down, you're about to listen to the UTS podcast. As always, I am your host, Dan Lodge, joined by Mark Moxy Collier.
Hello.
And we are coming to you live. Almost, but not from the Club of Dreams, we are once again coming from the University of Gloucestershire's Park campus. Before we get into things, let us remind you that this is an entirely amateur podcast produced entirely by volunteers, and we bring you this show for free on the first Friday of every single month on utspodcast.com, soundcloud.com/Cheltenham Saracens RFC, or on iTunes. Best way you can help support our show is by sharing it on social media. Facebook it, tweet it, LinkedIn, WhatsApp, Snapchat, whatever you use. And if you know anyone who owns a local business in the area and would be interested in sponsoring the show, advertising their business on the cheap, to help us keep our SoundCloud open as we get no financial support from the club, everything we do is paid for out of our own pockets, then you can get in touch by filling out a contact us form on utspodcast.com or emailing us on utspodcast@gmail.com and setting your header as advertising. Well, last season is officially over and the next one is just beginning. The 2017-18 fixture list is officially out and it'll see Sarries remain in Gloucester Premier. The first team will kick the campaign off on the 9th at home to St Mary's Old Boys, who missed out on their promotion playoff back in April. They're on the road on the 16th to face Bart Rugby, or formerly Barton Hill down in Bristol, and they'll be at home on the 30th to play hosts to Whitehall. That's the opening fixtures for the season. We'll have a few more later on in the show for you to make a note in your diary. Moxy, what's up with the pups?
We haven't actually got any fixtures broadcast yet, but we've got virtually a full fixture list. We've got three spaces, I think. Once I get that, I'll let everyone know. There is one thing we've been approached by Cheltenham Phoenix, the rugby league.
Yeah,
and they're training at King George V on a Wednesday night. They've asked if we want to get our under-14s involved, and they're looking at maybe putting a team out to play against the North, because they're doing the same sort of training and 6 weeks worth of sessions. They're going to try and get a game at the end of the season, or at the end of the 6 weeks, to play between the Sarries lot and the North lot. That could be another recruitment tool as well for rugby union. And also there's talk of maybe a combined North and Sarries team playing against a team from Oxford. So hopefully we can get a few boys up to that and do that. That's a King George V at 5 o'clock till 6 o'clock on a Wednesday. I mean, the time is not great, obviously, but they've got the seniors training straight afterwards. So that's why that's at that time.
Awesome. Thanks, Moxy. Of course, summer 2017 means Lions Tour, and New Zealand is always going to be a very strong challenge. Very similar to Australia 4 years ago, I think this one is going to go right down to the wire. And to be fair, 10 games in the space of a month is a massive ask, even at a professional level. But in the build-up to the biggest tour of the summer, we've got the Sarries tourists on the show. These guys have been on so many Lions tours. They went out in 2013 to support the lads and have pretty much started saving for this trip as soon as they got back.
We are joined by the Sarries Lions tourists. Stan, Darryl, Pedro. Unfortunately, Terry was unable to make it. Hopefully, we've got more words than bleeps. This was a great episode. Enjoy.
This show is brought to you in part by Audio Kitchen. Wouldn't it be awesome if you could use your phone to help you cook, but without even looking at it? Maybe you're a student, maybe you know someone who's going to become a student, or maybe you're constantly on the go with work. Well, now you can download, listen to, and keep cook-along podcasts to help you make some great meals. Currently, there's only 3 shows up at the moment as a bit of an introduction to the series. You can pick between chicken teriyaki, fried chorizo and pancetta, or tarragon chicken. Each show is roughly 20 to 30 minutes, meaning you can cook along in real time. Don't ever have to pause a video or rewind in case you missed something. Audio Kitchen will talk you through the whole process step by step from start to finish. Go and check out Audio Kitchen online, ryan-paxford.squarespace.com, soundcloud.com/ryapx, that's RYAPX, or subscribe on iTunes. Audio Kitchen, helping you make great food through your phone. But before you do any of that, keep it right here and listen to this show as we sit down with the Lions tourists.
First of all, why Pedro? What's that nickname all about?
Came from a lot of years ago. Just a name down Elmfield Park, and that was that. Someone called me Pedro, and that was it. So it's lasted now for the rest of my life.
Oh.
And it would probably be on my gravestone.
Not yet, though, eh?
Not yet. Well, you never know.
Stan. Why Stan?
So, surname used to be Ogden. For old Coronation Street fans, there used to be a character in there called Stan Ogden. So Stan stuck.
You looked a bit like him, did you?
A little bit.
I thought Hailwood might have been better then.
Yeah, could have been a lot worse. Yeah.
No nicknames, Darryl?
No nicknames from me.
No?
Mr. Softy, actually.
Really?
But that's many years ago now.
Right then, let's get on to the Lions episode. Your last tour, how did that go? Anything to tell us?
Well, we won, so it was absolutely fantastic being at the third test and seeing the British Lions beat Australia to make the series 2-1 after a nervous start in the first and second test. We absolutely hammered them, and to be with these 3 guys, it was even better.
Yeah, I just got to say, obviously, unfortunately, Terry's not here.
Terry can't be with us.
He couldn't make it.
He's not feeling very well.
Okay, yeah, no, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. You guys are obviously quite famous at the club for doing these tours. Can you remember your first one?
Yeah, I think probably a lot of people don't know. Pedro actually was the first one to do a Lions tour. He actually did the 2001.
I did, yeah. I went with 2 clowns, really, in 2001 to Australia when we lost the series 2-1 again. I watched the first win in the Beehive in Cheltenham. Then I flew out to Australia and watched the next 2 losses, which was a bit of a balls up. And then my real good mates said we'll go again. 2004 was another balls up because that was
2005.
2005.
Sorry, 2005 was Clive Woodward's bunch of monkeys.
Because that's when we started talking about it originally, wasn't it?
That's right. And then we went in 2009 to South Africa, which was absolutely brilliant. We were all a bit wary of it because of the place it was, Joburg and all that. But we went and we really, really enjoyed it, which spurred us on to go again.
Yeah, I'm hoping to go to the next one. The one after this is obviously South Africa again, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, I would say South Africa is a great one to do if you're only going to do one.
I mean, I've already been to a World Cup over there.
Yeah.
In '95, that was amazing. So, yeah, I want to get back over there and watch the Lions. So, what's been your favourite Lions series?
Of the ones we've been to?
The ones you've been to, yeah.
Well, I suppose it would have to be Australia because we won it. But
Yeah.
South Africa was good because it was different. It was new. Obviously, none of us had ever been to South Africa before. Fantastic country.
Fantastic people.
70 pence a pint.
Yeah.
I'm not so sure I would prefer one to the other.
I don't think you can.
I think they were
Yeah.
equal.
You can't.
I mean, if you remember, we drank Durban Dry.
Yeah.
Front page of the paper. British Lions drink Durban Dry.
No, I would say they were both bloody brilliant.
Yeah.
So that's your favourite. What do you think, rugby-wise, has been the best sort of Lions?
I thought the best rugby, to be honest, was played in South Africa. But we lost so many players in the second set, didn't we?
Yeah, I'd agree. Well, I'd agree because Australia actually were a weak side, weren't they? Let's be honest.
No, they weren't.
Yeah, we could have won that, more comfortably than.
But the refereeing
But South
in
Africa was-
Australia made more of an influence
Yeah.
because the third test particularly, we had a Northern Hemisphere
Sorry.
ref,
Yeah.
and it made the bloody difference big time.
that helped us quite a lot, didn't it?
South Africa was hard, really looked hard rugby. You could bloody hear the hits, couldn't you, from where we were, and we were quite far away, and obviously there was the bit of trouble right on the first one.
Berger should have been sent
Could have been sent off, which would have changed the series.
Prison.
But yeah, it was.
That was horrible, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's just it's hard to tell people what a trip's like, because just to see the red shirts on match days.
Was that when two of them ganged up on O'Driscoll?
That was New Zealand.
Gara.
No, that was New Zealand.
Yeah,
that was New Zealand.
That was New Zealand in 2005. That was the hooker and the fullback, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Sorry, the centre and the hooker.
On your trips, or anything you can sort of tell us about things that have been happening? Or?
We did. Well, I think South Africa, we did a lot of things we should never have done. So lots of people down the club were saying it's not a great place to go. Don't do this. Don't do that. And actually, absolutely opposite. It's a fantastic place to go. And we did a lot of things that probably we shouldn't have done. I'll give you one example. So
we got plenty of time. Keep going.
we went into Durban one day. I can't remember why, because it wasn't for the test. Did we just go into?
We went to a water park.
We went to a water park. That's
It
right.
was shut.
That was that's right. It was shut, and we ended up going to this aquarium, didn't we? In the end, which was crap and cost us, God knows, not a lot of money because it's cheap over there. And we just said, right, started walking on the beach. And I don't know which one of us said it, but one of us said, "Hey, that's our." Bearing in mind, it's 40-odd minutes in a taxi from Umhlanga, where we were staying, to Durban. But
Umhlanga.
Thank you, Pedro, for pronouncing it correctly. But we got on the beach and thought we could walk home. Now, bearing in mind, you shouldn't really walk around by yourself anyway. So walking on a beach, which we never would have made it to our premises, and we saw some people that we probably wouldn't want to bump into on a beach.
So we got off the beach and started walking along a motorway.
So we ourselves got off the beach and walked on the motorway. And again, it's silly when you think back, but actually it was things like that, and there was lots of things like that just made the trip.
Good chuckles.
That you're never going to get. You'll definitely take them to the grave with us, without doubt.
Did you fancy doing any is it diving with sharks over there?
We
had it booked.
We had it booked, but they had the worst weather on the Eastern Cape.
Yeah,
okay, that's right. Yeah,
40 years.
4 years.
Yeah.
So we couldn't. And our hotel, well, we didn't have a hotel. It was a bloody lovely
bed and breakfast.
Francis and Hailwood booking, and it was
a mansion house, wasn't it?
It was a mansion house, and it was, and the window got blown through the night before by the storm, so we couldn't do that. So I was left in the room on my own. This is Pedro speaking. I was left in the room on my own with an honesty box, and I went to bed barefoot, and that was the end of that. Next thing, Moxy.
Let's move straight into this year then. Warburton as captain. What do you think about that?
Who else?
Yeah, I've got to say, I think he's the right bloke. He's got to still get his place. Doesn't mean he's starting. But I think Pedro's right. Who else? When you look around, he's got the experience. He's won a series. If he can fight for his place and get his place, then I think Pedro, the question's right. Who else?
Well, I think. Sorry, Stan, to interrupt.
That was Darryl.
Sorry, Daz. I think.
Right, finished.
The Gatlin thing. If he's being honest, Gatlin, that he has to his captain has to play, is fair enough. But whether it comes off or not, because Warburton, he is the boy, but is he the boy? There's a lot of fellas that could captain that side.
There is a lot, yeah. Well, that's where they're lines, isn't it?
Well, yeah. But Warburton he's a bit dicky, isn't he? He's a bit dodgy.
But he has captained the winning side.
But then Stanley, he only played 2 games last tour.
Yeah, he did. You're right. He didn't play the deciding game.
He hasn't. He released himself from Wales captain earlier in the year, didn't he? Or within the last 4 years.
There's obviously something about him because as much as we all moan,
Gatlin loves him.
Yeah, we all moan about Gatlin, but actually the squad isn't a bad squad. I don't think there's not many things you can argue with, and he knows he wants. Without doubt, Gatlin wants to go to New Zealand and win.
Oh yeah, and so does Warburton.
Yeah,
I've got no qualms with that at all. They're all top men, and they all want to do the job.
Yeah,
But
and it's going to be hard enough anyway. So I think getting the captain
yeah,
right
it
big.
is going to be hard enough.
Do you think he's got the balance right with the different individual teams, or does that not really matter
What do you
at
mean,
all?
the countries?
Yeah. Does that not matter?
Well, the Scottish thing, but that's always going to be a bloody thing in it, because there's always going to be 2 or 3 that could have gone.
I don't think it matters. I think once you put the jersey on, you're playing for your British Lions shirts, and actually it's the same with supporters. You know, supporters over there, they are supporting the British Lions. The Welsh, maybe you can say, are a little bit different. They probably do. Well, they certainly did in Australia, because there was a lot of Welsh players. But actually in South Africa, they were supporting the British Lions.
Yeah.
So yeah, the shirt speaks for itself, I think.
Yeah, fair shout there.
Are there any changes that you possibly would have made?
Yeah, a couple of mates, but they haven't got the money, so.
Oh, to go with us, you mean, or
To go with you, or even to the squad?
not everyone fancies a Lions trip, if I'm honest. But Stan, what do you think about the Lions squad?
The Lions squad, I think Launchbury was probably the
I'd
most
say
unlucky
that's
bloke
definitely.
not to have got picked.
After the Six Nations in the year he's had, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I'm glad the Welsh kid's going from Gloucester,
Moriarty.
Moriarty, because
Yeah.
I would like to see him.
Yeah.
I would like to see him get a test
Start.
match, because he's flipping so full of fizz,
If he plays like he played against England,
which he would, Stan.
yeah.
Because he's young. He's got he'd be up for that. And I'll tell you, the one guy that I am happy to see going is Jamie George,
Yeah.
because he will definitely get test time, probably in all 3 tests, whether it's the last 20, last 30, last 10, but he will make a difference, because he's got it.
Yeah, been playing well for Saracens.
And that is a position we have got to contest, which is hooker. 'Cause we haven't got a hooker that can take on Dane Cole. End of.
Do you think the injury to Billy Vunipola is going to cause a bit of a problem?
I think it's
gonna my holiday, yeah.
I think it's a massive injury. I think he'll be missed. But actually, going back to what I said, you got to trust the boys that you got out there, and it's always going to happen. I'm afraid it's always going to happen that players going to get injured.
Do you think it's good that he's replaced him with the walking yellow card?
Yeah, I don't know.
Who, Haskell? He won't get his shirt anyway, will he? He won't go straight into. He won't go straight into Billy's shirt.
Yes, he's a midweek player, wouldn't you ask?
But I've been think Haskell's a good player.
Yeah. Haskell's all right,
He's got a lot of bags of tricks.
but
Yeah.
he's not a ball carrier like Vunipola. So
No.
that's where
He's not a Villapolo, is he? No one is.
That's where he'll be
Stan.
missed massively.
Yeah,
is
yeah.
for his
Ball carrying, yeah.
Carries, yeah.
crossing that gain line and that.
I think he was a big part of the
But
starting
then
15.
who's going to replace him then? That CJ Sander, I presume.
Who's going to replace him?
Vunipola.
Well, it'd be Falatau,
Yeah,
wouldn't it?
Falatau, I would have thought. Yeah, I would have thought.
What an all tough.
Or you
back
can
row
play
there.
Moriarty.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't have an all tough back row. I'd have
No.
Stander, Moriarty.
We've got to get some
and
non-toughs
Warburton.
in there, boys.
The Irish back row have played pretty well as well the last game.
That's what I mean.
So
CJ Sander.
Yeah, well, I'd have Stander.
Yeah.
in there.
So is there any? Yeah, there's nobody else that you think should have gone.
I'm disappointed for Rob Shaw, to be honest.
There's something about England captains that just don't get to go.
Martin Johnson, all right, didn't he?
Yeah, I think. Yeah. Cheers, Pat.
Right, Mark.
Am I going to regret inviting you?
probably. You can cut that bit out, remember?
Yeah. Well, he won't. You'll throw me into the bus, bless him. Starting 15 for the first test. What do we reckon?
Well, we'll let Pedro do the front row because he's the front row expert, shall we?
Well, my biggest problem is hooker, to be honest.
Well, who's your props first, Ped?
Well, no, I've got to start where I play, don't I? I think best is the most physical, fit hooker we've got. But the problem I've got with him is that he had a nightmare in Australia, didn't he? You remember when he played those couple of?
See, I'd have Jamie George.
I would. I got to say.
Well,
I'd have
but
Jamie George.
Stanley's not 80 minutes. End of chat.
But no.
No, the only reason he's
so-
not 80 minutes is because Hartley is the England captain. You can't start without your captain.
Stanley's not 80 minutes for Exeter.
He plays for Saracens.
Saracens, he plays for
Sorry. Or Exeter.
You're right, though. He's right. He doesn't play 80 minutes for Exeter.
No.
He's absolutely... You can't say Pedro was wrong there.
He's not an 80-minute bloke.
All right.
But neither are any of the so I'd say you probably got to get best. You laugh at me.
So are we saying best or are we saying George?
I go George, but I'm going to let Pedro do it.
Mine would be George, but Pedro. I would go Jamie George.
Yeah, I think...
Unfortunately, Ped, it's 2 against 1.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
So-
yeah, he's at the ball in their life.
on him over. Mum's game.
Okay, the 2 starting props then.
Well, I would say the big boy, Mr. Vinopolo.
Mako Vinopolo.
Yeah.
I'd go with that.
Yeah.
And then
It's got to be the Irish, yeah.
Furlong. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that.
What's his name, Stan?
Furlong.
Okay. Second rows?
Well, second row,
It's got to be Toji, and he's got to be in there.
Yeah.
He's got to be first.
probably
right?
the next Lions captain, so he's got to be in there, hasn't he?
Itoji and...
This is where it gets hard because we
See,
got to
I
try not to
was
be
thinking-
biased because we're
Yeah, I
English.
was thinking Wyn Jones. To be honest.
We got to.
Wyn Jones for balance, Wyn Jones
for experience.
But then you got your man
Cruz.
Cruz is the best, I think.
Cruz. I thought Cruz was brilliant.
Yeah.
He did, yeah.
Cup final.
He's fresh as well. Remember, hasn't
Yeah.
played a full season.
Yeah.
And Gordon knows then about rugby.
Cool. Yeah.
So
It's- I got to say, I don't want to sound too biased for the English, but I would go with Cruz.
Yeah.
Well, it's not necessarily a bias, is it? It's who you think is the best player.
I think he's the best player.
And if he's English,
Yeah.
and he pairs up with this fella.
yeah.
So-
Yeah, definitely. Okay, let's go with your blind side.
Stander for me.
Yeah, definitely.
CJ Sandler, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now it gets difficult, I think.
It's got to be Warburton, 7, because he's captain.
7 Warburton.
Which I think will be a big debate. I would not be one bit surprised to see the tour captain not play rugby.
Really?
I wouldn't be surprised
No,
at all.
I think you're right. That's why I said I think it's the right. He's got to get his place.
Okay, 8. Now, Vinopola's not there.
It's got to be Falatoa, isn't it? I think.
I think
I don't think
he's
Morientes
not
is ready.
he's too young. Isn't
Yeah, well, it's not even his age. I just think.
See, if it was me, well, it's not me, is it? But I'd put Moriarty in
Yeah,
there.
I just.
he? Yeah, I would. That would.
Give
That
the
would I would like
But
to see
I
that.
tell you what, then, Moxie, is this a test side? Yeah.
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 Right. So let's put Falatau in brackets, and let's Moriarty
Steps up.
sets the world on fire,
Yeah.
which it wouldn't surprise me to see him do it. It wouldn't
Okay.
at all.
Okay, Darryl, let's get to your expertise here.
I think the best nine's the Irish.
Colin
Murray.
Murray.
Colin Murray, yeah.
Yeah, Murray. I think the difficult thing then becomes the 10 because Farrell in the Champions Cup, whatever they call the European Cup, was outstanding at 10.
Yeah, but surely, sorry, Dad.
Well, all I was going to say is,
surely it's got to be Sexton.
No, I don't think it will. I think he's taking them both to play at
No.
10. Personally, that's why he's picked him.
I picked Farrell.
And
Who's this, Sam?
Yeah.
and Sexton, as much as I like to have a 9 and 10 from the same country,
Yeah.
I think Farrell's just got something slightly different than Sexton.
He's a leader as well, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, but Dad, Farrell would have something different. He's playing blindside flanker.
I know he would. Yeah, I just think that game again, was it Claremont? Where did he play?
Clement,
Yeah.
yeah.
He was
Yeah.
different gravy. Really was. Bearing in mind the pack was going back all day in the scrum as well.
So we're looking at Farrell.
So Farrell, yeah,
I
if these
would-
guys
I'd
agree.
go with Farrell.
Okay, let's go for your left winger.
Well, this is Stan's favourite position, so I'll let him talk about that.
I'd go Jack Noel.
I like him, Stan. Big
Yeah?
time.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got a nice tattoo.
Yeah, I'd go Jack Noel.
Nice tattoos,
buy that
crap
one.
haircut, nice tattoos.
Reckon his defence is good enough?
Yeah. Who would you think then?
I guess it. Yeah, I think he's a good player. Who have we got? So what you got? You got what have we got? Wingers: North, Watson.
North's got to go over there.
North
So
on
we
the
got
other
the
wing.
right. Yeah. So yeah.
North on the other wing, yeah?
Yeah, so
Yeah,
you go
it's
put him in, and then
yeah.
it makes it a bit easier. So who have you got left?
I think Noel was good against. You watched that semi-final the other week against.
Yeah. I just
Saracens when they beat him. He was on form. I think.
So 12 then down next to. I like Jamie Joseph.
Yeah. I don't think I don't know if he's the best 12.
I think Henshaw for me.
Yeah, I'd have to.
Robbie Henshaw.
They do seem to favour him, don't
Well,
they?
I think he's a good player.
I think Joseph fits and starts, isn't it?
Yeah.
He had that awesome game for England, and he went against Scotland. It was against Scotland.
Yeah, it was against Scotland. Stan, you're right.
But then
Did nothing in the game after.
Did nothing in the game after.
Did he drop in them for the game after that? Didn't he? If I remember, but. Yeah,
I just think it might be a little bit too. I'd have Henshaw in there, and then I'd have.
Yeah, I'd go with Henshaw.
Jonathan Davis.
Henshaw.
Oh, of course, Jonathan.
As the other centre.
Yeah.
I'd have him as the other centre.
That would be
Which way round would you play them to them?
I'd have Henshaw inside centre.
Henshaw.
And Davis.
Yeah,
outside.
Davis at 13. Yeah.
Sorry, I've
Okay,
got a shot on
and
that.
fullback.
I think you've got to have the token Scott in there, haven't you? Stuart Hogg.
Well, I don't think he's a token. I don't think he's a
But
token.
Stan, you got Hogg, you got half.
That's what you just said. I think Hogg actually was the best fullback in the Six Nations.
he was, yeah.
My only worry with him is he won't be able to get away with quite as many tricks against the All Blacks. But give him his. You got to remember, all these guys are going to play before the first test as well. People are going to step up. People are going to get injured. But I think starting now, I agree with Hogg. Not as a token, Scott. I think he is the best fullback in the Six Nations.
I sort of, that was a throwaway comment.
But it's nice to have a token Scott as well.
Yeah. Just for Ian Bell.
Yeah. Make sure Ian Bell knows that we want a Scotsman in the side.
Okay. Right then. So we got Vinopola, George Furlong, Itoje Cruz, Stander, Warburton, Falatau or Moriarty, Murray, Farrell, Henshaw, Davis, Knoll, North and Hogg.
Not a bad side, that, is it?
That looks all right, doesn't it? That does look all right.
Benches harder.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not going to do that one.
No.
We've got to get on.
We've got to go and meet Sharpie for a beer.
God, it's bloody hot in here.
It looks like a sauna, doesn't it?
It is
It is.
That's our team. Predictions.
I'll let Stan go first.
2-1 All Blacks. I want to be confident and say, but I just can't. I can't see us.
I think they'll have too much.
I think they will have too much.
No.
Yeah, if I was a betting man, I'm afraid I'd go for a whitewash and 3-0 the All Blacks. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. But let's wait and see.
Mr. Optimist. What are we going
2-1 Lions.
for? 2-1.
Lions.
Get in.
We got the on the rack. No, I say that from my heart, but from my head. I love watching All Black rugby all the time, but they're too good for us.
You think so? You think you'd love to say
Too many. They're too good in too many positions.
Okay. What's your who's your favourite all-time Lions player?
Mine would be Will Greenwood, personally.
Stan?
Can watch his try over and over
I
again.
don't know. Probably Mike Teague.
Good shout, Stan.
Yeah. Is that the Gloucester thing as well?
Not the Gloucester thing. He went over, didn't he? And was it the tour you went to?
It was 1989. That was,
The
mate.
89 tour when he was man of the tour, wasn't he?
He went there as raw as anything,
Yeah.
and he come back man of the tour.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Ped?
yeah. Good shout, Stan. Keith Wood for me.
Keith Wood?
Yeah,
Yeah, good.
hard as
Yeah. Right, let's move on back to the Sarries, I think, a bit. How do you think our season's gone this year?
Well, I think it's bloody brilliant. 2 cups. Absolutely fantastic. I'm not sure if any club has ever won the first team cup 4 times in a row, but that's still a great achievement anyway. And the second's win it again after a few years have passed since we won it last time. So yeah, definitely very good.
Apparently the Pats have won it 5 times on the
Have
backs. Yeah.
Okay, so we'll
yeah, but they're not a team.
No.
we'll need to
they're not like
we'll
that.
need to sort that out next year.
Yeah, definitely. 2 years and it's ours.
Yeah, it'd just be nice to see us get really pushed for promotion. But it's hard. There's a lot of good teams in that league this year, and next season, shall I say?
Yeah, I mean we struggled towards the end of the season, didn't we? Not looking at the cups, but you seem to think, Darryl, that fitness was a bit of an issue.
Well, it's hard because I don't train, so I don't know how many people train. I don't know how many of the first team train. I don't know what the training's like anymore. I'd imagine it's very good, certainly, but whether the fitness, just the few games I've watched the first, we seem to be a good side. We got some brilliant players, but we just seem to run out of gas when I've watched them. So yeah, but fitness is really important in any sport you play, isn't it?
Yeah, well, definitely. I've picked something from Facebook. This thing that's going around at the minute. Have you seen it? Sort of best this, best that of players that you've played with. So let's have a go at that. Who would be the best back?
Luke Morgan for me.
Oh, bloody hell. Don't know. So just
The problem is, Moxie, we're always going forward, right? We're moving the pianos, them behind us.
Okay, then, Pedro, the best forward.
Best forward, what? Best as in a hard hitting, more reliable?
Just the best forward you've played with.
That was good. Stan can have it. He's my mate. He's my mate, yeah.
so
There we go.
because I'm here.
Okay, best goal kicker.
Pedro.
Best, I would say Mark Mansfield.
Yeah, I was going to say. Well, it's funny. That's what went to my mind was Mark Mansfield. Yeah.
Best tackler.
For me, was probably Andy Watson.
That was a spear, but I would say Simon Betchers is up there.
Betsy, yeah.
Betsy, you could have that, Babs.
Yeah, but just so you know, I'd still have Glyn every day.
Yeah.
Yeah, Glyn was.
Glyn could tackle with any part of his body, couldn't he?
Yeah.
I nearly read that as best tackle.
Yeah.
It'd be Perksy. Or you, or Darryl?
No, not me. Yeah,
Okay.
definitely Perksy.
Is it?
Unless it's balls, and then it's John Bradley.
Simon Townsend, Piggy. He's we used to call him Batman.
Yeah.
Okay, the quickest player that you've played with.
I can't.
Sharpie. My good old mate, and he's one of my best friends. Sharpie, you're in, kid.
I ain't going to argue with Pedro.
No, move on. Best ball carrier.
Got to be Christian Williams. As much as I hate to at him, but
Gordon Payne. Stan, all right. He wouldn't come out much, would he?
Yeah, I think Christian's probably a good shout.
I mean you yourself,
Yeah.
Stan, but you can't have two titles.
Biggest hitter.
Now that one I'd
What,
probably
with
give
the
to
punch
Betsy.
or?
Betsy.
That one I'd give to Betsy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, he'll do one or two tackles every game. Where me, you don't want to be the bloke who's just it.
I think you're up there for this, Ped. But the loosest cannon.
What? Yeah.
It's got to be
cannon.
Pedro. Yeah, it's got to be.
No, I was only
I
trying
don't
to
know.
look
Yeah,
after my
yeah.
team.
Is he loose though? He's just every now and again he has it on him, doesn't he?
Right, before we have a fight. Best try scorer.
Well,
Not you, Dar. It's only on me. I only had about 3.
I scored 2 tries in my last game. Thank you, Pedro. But anyway, moving on. You're right. It's not me.
Best try scorer.
Sean Canavan used to score some good tries.
Yeah.
Okay. Pedro. Best scrummager.
Well, I'll leave that one to Pedro. I ain't got a clue about that. Looks easy to me.
I would say Matt Francis was like a bullock. I'd say one. Am I allowed to say one I'm playing against?
No.
Playing with. It's playing with.
I think it's got to be with.
Yeah, playing with.
So who are you going for?
Matt Francis.
I'll do your job for you.
Very,
Keep it going.
very strong man.
Thanks, Darryl.
Sorry.
Okay. Bravest player.
Little Shawnee in it.
Right. Best clubman.
Eddie Walsh.
Yeah, it's hard to give one because I think, and I don't disagree with Eddie.
Good shout.
I think the taking nothing away from the old committee, but the new committee who got us up to King George V under Morris as chairman, Eddie, Eamon, Jimmy, and I'm going to forget names. I think the way they've taken the club forward in the last 10 years is fantastic, and it gets hard now to maintain that because we're now, we're one of the most successful clubs
We're a
in the
massive
town.
club. Yeah, you're right. Dan.
And I think people underestimate how much these guys put in. But yeah.
And if can I interrupt there and retract what I just said about Eddie, because Eddie is top. But the Pates brothers brought our club from where we brought it from dust.
Yeah, it's a good point.
You know,
Timmy and Tony, yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
and you can't really say any more than that.
No.
And touch wood and thank the Lord, they're both with us today.
Yeah.
Still supporting
Yeah,
our club and with us all the time. So
Yeah.
spot on. Yeah, let's go for the Pates brothers.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Patesy will be on the Lions tour as well.
Happy
Timmy will be, won't he?
Yeah, you are.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's there with his lad, yeah.
Right. Best coach or manager.
Never really been coached. Did it all myself. That's why I'm.
Geordie was quite good, wasn't he?
He was influential because you were frightened to get your teeth knocked out. Conor Wheeler, he went to prison. Influential bloke for me was Timmy and Tony Pates again, with training all those years ago.
What, running around the pitch?
Yeah,
next time?
running around a divvy with my arms stuff like that.
I think Towner as well, didn't he? He took us.
Yeah, but Darryl.
Forget about
Towner brought structure. Didn't
Yeah, he did.
He
And,
brought
that,
some
and, that, and he
structure,
was the
didn't
guy. He was the that we had for 2 seasons.
Mike Hyde.
Mike Hyde.
No, not Mike Hyde. The bloody ex-England under 19s. What was his name?
Yeah.
Bourneside mush.
Vaughan's mate. He was superb. He was head and shoulders above.
Yeah, he kept us well into Division 2.
But he wasn't here. Well, but he wasn't with us a lot long, so it was hard to give it to him.
Can't
Can't remember his name, but
No.
Vaughan is mate.
Vaughan's mate.
Okay.
Yeah, what's his name?
Ask Vaughan and edit it in.
Yeah. The last one in this lot. The best player, do you think, has played for the Sarahs?
What, best player at rugby? Best bloke?
Best player.
Got to be Sean in it.
I reckon.
Sean Canavan.
Got to be Sean.
I reckon I would say Colin Wheeler.
Colin was a good player. Yeah.
They were very, very similar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
weren't they?
Yeah.
Let's have Sean though, because Colin.
Sean.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sean Canavan. No, because he's on Facebook. No, don't. Sean was a good player.
And he came back and played for us again.
I'll
Remember?
tell you a name we haven't mentioned all day. Andy Parker.
Yeah, Andy Parker.
He could be the
Player,
loosest cannon.
He could be the
couldn't
loosest cannon. Got beat up.
He?
Got beat
longest-
up in Burritts, didn't he? By playing
longest
Eddie and
cannon.
Pedro.
Yeah.
Do you want it? That's a good story.
Yeah.
Burritts, rugby tour.
Did you
no.
put some punches
We
into him, Ped?
played against.
Was
Who
it
did we
the
play
end?
against? Anyone
Did it
remember?
the end?
Anyone actually remember who we played against?
Yeah, there it is.
No.
No rucking anyway, was there? They didn't want any
No
rucking.
rucking,
It was
no
a bit
tackling.
of a pointless game. But anyway, afterwards, I think Eddie organised that tour. It was a good tour.
Yeah.
We went back to their bar and they made us bloody welcome.
It's a
Free
tape, is it?
drinking, and Parks got out of hand, really out of hand. Was a real fairness, if I can say there. And
Not really.
Eddie let
Carry
him
on.
have a couple. Englyn let him have a couple, and I think Ped let him have a couple as well. The state of the bloke. I've got photos if you want to put them on Facebook. Our dad's got a great photo of Andy Parks' face on the coach. He was beat up. Something. But anyway, move on from that.
Anyway, the weather turned. It was nice.
Okay, what? How do you reckon we're going to do next season?
The Lions.
No, we've done that. Sorry.
Saracens. I hope they can push. I hope they can finish first or second. Get a couple of new players. Backs, I think, look good. The first team captain, if he stands again, Jimmy Mack needs to get training and get fit. And I think if he gets fit, everyone around him will probably get fit with him. As in the forwards.
Push for promotion then.
And push for promotion, let's hope, yeah. And the fifth first team cup on a row, yeah.
Yeah.
Be nice.
I'm up for that. Right, we've got some listener questions. These are quite good, these are. First one's to you, Ped.
blimey.
Barto.
Yeah.
He wants to hear about your day at Doyle's, Watson Bay.
Oh yeah, we got some lessons to us there. Fair play, it was all right. Yeah, but I paid for his meal. And quite a few legends came in. The big boy, who's the big prop?
Victor Abugu?
Victor Abugu. Yeah, he came in the restaurant. A couple of others came in. It was a good crack. We were doing a bit of singing and this and that, and it was all right. Yeah. So I paid for Bartow's meal. So yeah, you owe me one. You ginger.
Right, to the other two here. Paul Unsworth would like to know, have you got a rota on who looks after Pedro, or have you got a spook for it?
To be honest, Terry usually takes charge of him, looking after him.
It's Terry, other than the time when he ripped his shirt off and he got really racist in that pub in Durham. Well, no, it was Slanger, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then me and you had to step in. I think, Stan, if I remember.
Yeah, that was a good evening.
But usually Terry.
Russ Morrison, he's asked why have you all kept it quiet that you're going on the Lions?
Well, we
Because
just
it's
want
a
to keep it
secret.
low key,
It's a
really.
It's a lot of
secret.
jealousy as well, so we don't want to rub it in people's noses, if I'm honest.
I mean, we'd look stupid if we put it on Facebook every day, wouldn't we?
Big Dave Fitzharris wants to know your thoughts on Russell.
I've known him since I was 16. He hasn't changed, other than he's got bigger and bigger and bigger every year.
Betsy
Good egg.
Betsy has asked if he can sleep in your tent.
Easter egg.
What tent's that?
I don't know. He's just asked if he can sleep in your tent. No?
Oh, he's going. Of course, I think he's coming to New Zealand, isn't he, for a test? So yeah,
Yeah, I think he is,
We'll
yeah.
meet up with you, Betsy, and we'll look after you. Don't worry.
Okay. Unfortunately, Terry's not here, but you guys can answer this. Aaron Connolly wants to know which of Terry's son's bands is better, and he wants an answer.
Well, Terry said he hates both of them.
In fairness, it's not Terry's music, either of them.
You said not to tell anyone.
Yeah.
Stadler's on tape.
But don't let the Beaver boys listen to this. But he doesn't like either of their music. They're both out of key, he says. But I think he does prefer the frog and whatever they are. What are they called?
Fiddle.
Frog and
Beaver and the Foghorns.
Foghorns,
I think if he had to make a choice.
Frog. Yeah. If he had to make a choice, I think that's the one he prefers.
Okay.
Just because I think there's a guy in there he likes. Fancies.
Perksy wants to know if Nell will be on tour or will age keep him away?
Yes,
Now
now we'll be on tour.
There's another story.
Now we'll be on tour. Perksy, you won't. Wrap your little nose back up in your wardrobe. Good night.
Pedro did do now in our first tour to South Africa.
I've done it both times.
I know you have. We went for a nice little dinner, pre-dinner before the first test. Sat on a lovely table and he got up and sang for everybody.
Now came out. Now's tradition, Perksy, with friends. Good night.
Bash would like clarification. Is James McMahon a grass?
A grass of what? A piece of grass?
No.
Or a lawn of grass?
Tiles on somebody,
We
that
don't know.
means. Yeah, yes, he is. Definitely.
Text back with a proper question, Bash. If you can type.
I got a question here. Talk us through your Boxing Day headwear and which is your favourite?
Mine?
Yeah.
You talking to me?
Yeah.
I don't. Oh, the pig's head. Oh, right, yeah. Okay, so what we had to do, we had to take a pair of pig's ears off a pig's yard at work with the scalp and all, dry it out in the balcony, and then put the back on and tie him on at my jaw. He was all right.
Brilliant. Okay. Dan's got his head in his hands, bless him.
Where is he?
In there.
Who's the best Francis at the Sarries?
It was definitely not Darryl.
That's a question from me.
I'd have to be Andy Francis, I would say. We don't see him that often, but he's a top bloke.
Emrys.
I think that's a good shout. Yeah.
I've never expected my name to get anywhere near
Or
close.
Ray.
to boxing.
Ray.
I reckon you're in the top
Emrys
six.
and Ray.
I don't reckon I get in the
Angling.
top 10.
Right. I'm probably going to regret asking this, but sometimes we get the pups listening to this. Have you got any advice you can give to them?
For what? Lions tours?
No, just in their general sort of play, in their rugby careers.
Well, you're better off asking Stan, in fairness, Dan.
No.
This is a general question to anyone that wants to chip in, as long as it's not Pedro.
Not a lot Pedro can tell you about that, is there? Other than how to get a yellow or a red
Ex-captain.
card.
Ex-captain.
I would say, fellas, if you find friends in rugby, you'll have them for life. Put your eye on it, it'll come together, and it will last for life. Because it lasts for me.
Yeah, that's true.
Keep playing rugby, keep playing sport, because it's the best thing you can bloody do.
Don't get involved.
And if you want any advice from me, come at the club, but you must make it early.
True. Yeah, okay. Right, let's get on to the quick fire questions then. If we go round, start with Pedro, Darryl, then Stan. Okay, 4x4 or sports car?
4-4.
Sports car.
4x4.
Red or brown?
What?
Red or brown?
Oxford Towers.
Oxford Towers, we call it.
Red.
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 North or south?
South.
South.
North.
Bacon or sausage?
Bacon.
Sausage.
Football World Cup or Olympics?
Olympics. Hands down.
Olympics.
Olympics.
Right, this this might do it in a bit. Would you rather know a little about a lot or a lot about a little?
Both.
A little about a lot.
A little about a lot.
What's your favourite song intro?
You've lost that love and feeling.
Carry on, that was good. Favourite song intro?
Can't change that.
You can change that if you want. Here's a quick fire, but go on.
Please release me, let me go.
I'll have Sweet Caroline very quickly, it's easy done.
Where it began. Sweet Caroline.
Good. Right, if you were a drink, what would you be and why?
Cider, fire as
Sex on the beach.
you knob.
So I said it when
Now, what a question. Got absolutely no idea.
Water.
you come back to him. It's quick fire. Keep
Right,
it
okay.
going.
Right then, apart from obviously Sweet Caroline, what is your karaoke song choice?
Nell in it.
The moon shone on the village pub.
Angels.
It's also shone now.
Don't Stop Believing.
Oh yeah, like that one.
Right, last question then. Would you rather play in the World Cup final for England, or would you play in one Lions test?
One Lions test.
Good question. Yeah, that's a good question, Moxy.
Thank you.
Well, you won't get. You can't box kick. Go.
I think World Cup final for England.
Yeah, I mean World Cup final for England, I think.
I think so.
So I'm the only good lawyer.
No, well, cheers, guys. That's it. Have you got any plugs or anything? Twitter, Facebook, anything like that? You want to?
Well, follow Pedro, can't you? Everyone knows how to follow Pedro on Facebook.
Gary Short.
Gary Short on Facebook. Make sure you send him lots of comments on how you think he's done. And he's always looking for a drinking partner on a Friday night about 5:30.
I'm not. Well, no, yeah, I'm not for that, really.
Fantastic. Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Cheers,
Thank
Moxy.
you. Cheers.
Thank you, mate.
UTS.
A lot of mentioning of the grave in the early stages of this show. Little bit morbid, but massive thanks to those guys for coming on. Thanks to Stan, Ped and Darryl. All of these guys bleed blue and yellow of the Sarries. It's great to have them on. Hopefully they'll have a great time in New Zealand, and hopefully you've had a great time listening to them talk Lions tours. We said earlier on in the show we'd mention a few more first team fixtures, and these are a few dates that stand out for me. November 4th, we are away to Gloucester Old Boys. It's great to see them back in Gloucester Premier. December 9th, we're at home to local-ish rivals Longlevens. February 3rd, we are at home to recently relegated Cirencester. And on April 21st, we are on the road on the last day of the season, away to St Mary's Old Boys. I'm already seeing hampers and looseness. Pre-season is just around the corner. Keep an eye out for announcements regarding that on social media. You can find the club on Facebook and Twitter. Both of those are .com/CheltSarriesRFC. Jack Kerr is doing a great job keeping the Pitch Hero page up to date. Go and check that out, pitchhero.com/clubs/Cheltenham Saracens RFC, or you can go and check out the club's official website, CheltenhamSaracensRugby.com. If you want to keep up to date with everything to do with the podcast, you can do that. We're on social media, Facebook and Twitter.com/the UTS podcast. We're on SoundCloud.com/Cheltenham Saracens RFC, or UTSpodcast.com is our official website where you can find different shows. They're all up there and they're all absolutely free. There's information about the podcast as a whole, about us as presenters, about the club, and links to other podcast streaming services that host our shows. And don't forget, if you find us on social media, give us a follow on Twitter, give us a like and a review on Facebook, and don't forget to rate, review and subscribe on iTunes, or subscribe on whatever platform you use. All of our shows, we'll say it again, are absolutely free, so feel free to go back and listen to them at any time, from start to finish, as far back as June last year, when I chatted to Liam Cooper in the middle of the first team pitch. Once again, a huge thanks to the Lions tourists, Pedro, Darryl and Stan. Unfortunately, Terry couldn't join us, but thanks to the three that did for taking time out of their days to join us and letting us put on a fantastic first off-season show. Huge thanks to Mark Moxy Collier, of course, for organising such great guests and for being a fantastic interviewer, while I worked the control desk. Also a quick mention to Kevin McLeod of Incompetech.com for our background music Motherload, which we use royalty free under the Creative Commons License 3.0. And of course, a huge thanks to you for listening, wherever you are, whatever you're doing. We'll be back in July, hopefully with an update on pre-season and any information on the second and third teams. But of course, before then, feel free to look out on the club's social media pages for any updates on there. So that's our June episode. It's been quick. It's been a good episode, I think. I've been Dan Lodge. This guy has been Mark Moxy Collier. You've been listening to the UTS podcast, official podcast of Cheltenham Saracens RFC, and we'll see you right here next month. Up the Sarries!
Up the Sarries, pups!